So this is the essay paper for 2023 mains. You must have seen the paper already. No? Yes? So all the topics are philosophical in nature, right? But at the same time section B have some general orientation. The section B is more towards the problems of girl, child, society, social perspective, right? So mathematics, so that is a difficult topic. The third topic is again society related topic. Yes. The reason I am showing you essay topics is because when you prepare for UPSC, philosophical essays is one thing that UPSC is testing from you. They expect a lot of philosophy and application of society. So every day whatever you read in the newspapers, you have to pick them up and write them in the essays. How many of you know section A part 3 before this class or before today paper? You have heard that quote, section A third line. How many of you knew that word existed before today? Not all who wander are lost. No? Where? That is a famous line from J.R.R. Tolkien, The Lord of the Rings. There is a novel called as Lord of the Rings. Okay, so he talks about not all who wanders are lost. Okay, so we have to be socially, societally, culturally aware of what is happening in the society. Okay, or else you will feel the same pinch in the exam hall. To write such topics, you even need to know what is the context of the topic. Without knowing the context, can you write the topic? For example, section B, last essay. Okay, who gave that quote, or at least who is famous for that quote? Before this class, are you aware of that? No? That is a very famous quote attributed to Einstein. Okay, that is a regular quote attributed to Einstein. So the topic is not about education. The topic is like you will learn something in the school, but education is what remains after the school. That means it can be about values, it can be about whatever you learn in the school. Yesterday we were reading about that SC Cook article. Yes or no? You can bring in such topics and write in that essay. Yes or no? If you learn casteism and all these things in the school, okay, what did you actually learn? Nothing. You are supposed to learn what? Equality, diversity. But if you don't learn such things, then you are learning wrong things in the school. Yes or no? The problem is not of the school, the problem is what is left, what is remaining. It's not about maths, science, it's about more or less value system. So you have to bring contemporary examples from the newspapers to write such essays. Okay. What about the first essay? Does it even make sense? Thinking is like a game. It does not begin unless you have a opposite team. No, you are not supposed to be having a clarity on how to write a philosophical essay, but at least when we look at the topics, something should strike in the mind. No. Okay. Yes. What can be that something? What is your understanding? All of your graduates, you know English? Yes? You can understand English, no? That much we all can do. So, forget about UPSC. Generally, as a human being, when someone shows you that quote, okay, what is expected from you? Thinking is like a game. Okay? Yes or no? Thinking is a game, huh? All of you think? Yes? Okay. Next, it does not begin unless there is a opposite team. What happens when you have an opposite team? We start thinking better or bad or worse? Better, huh? Sure. Think about it.
When we are thrown adversities at us, we think about it to tackle.
We think about it to tackle. There is a downside to this problem. You overestimate or underestimate your opponent and your thinking changes. No? See, opposite here means obstacles, problems, a person. Okay. For example, let's say China is constructing something in LAC, in its border area, defense agreements and all those things. What will India think? India will think what China is thinking. India will also think how to counter China. So indirectly China is helping us to think better. But if there is no China, will we invest in the border? Do you get my point? Like this, your thinking will get better. Chess, for example. Yes or no? If you play chess, if you have an opponent, you'll get sharper or not? Yes or no? Or else you will only, I know this move, I know that move, you will play only on your own. But when you face an opposition, you get stronger and better at thinking. But my question is, do you really need an opposite party to make you think better? Yes or no? Do you really need to face a problem to avoid problems, or you can be proactive also on your own? See, the opposite team is UPSC. The opposite team is UPSC. You have to think like UPSC, you have to better UPSC. But we can always guess what UPSC might do without actually UPSC doing anything. So that is self-introspection and all those things. Like this, you can think more deeply. This is not an essay class, don't worry. What I'm trying to tell you is, tomorrow onwards, when you see something in the newspaper, counter argument. For example, I will say biofuels are good. Okay, in that article, you can also find the opposite team. She also counter argues by saying biofuels are not the best versions. So first generation biofuels are not best. Okay, she is the opposite team to who? To the government's which alliance? Biofuel alliance. Yes or no? Government launched biofuel alliance. She is the opposite team. What is she saying in the yesterday's article? She is saying that first generation biofuels purely made from sugarcane is not a good idea. So like this, she is making government to think about second generation biofuels. That is how you have to bring diversity to your thinking. Okay, every day in the newspapers you will see all these things. But the problem is you have to apply them. Okay, next, visionary decision making happens at the intersection of intuition and logic. What is leadership? Doing something for the people who believe you, who support you. Yes or no? That is leadership. Leadership is about the action you do. Okay, it should be what? Intuition. Intuition means, do you have intuition? What is intuition? Speak up. No, Gatiga. What is intuition? What is the meaning of the term intuition? Forget essay, forget UPSC. I am asking as a general human being, what is intuition?
Self-knowledge.
Intuition is self-knowledge. Yeah? We'll talk in simple English, no? Intuition is like hunch. Yes or no? It's like a hunch. Okay, you go to a shop and you will say, give me this cake or give me this shirt. Why? It's a intuitive feeling. You somehow knew that this color will suit to my skin tone, or this cloth feels comfortable, or it looks good. Out of hundreds of shirts in the shop, why did you pick that one? Some intuition. You have a likeness towards a color, a feeling, fabric, food. Yes or no? So all these are what? Intuitive things. Okay. So your friend said, do this, write this exam, and you felt that idea is very correct in that moment, and you have written that exam. That is a intuitive decision. That means sometimes you take decisions on the basis of your hunch. Will this work? Will this not work? All that thinking is logic. Yes or no? Logic will have strategy, planning, and all those things. But sometimes last minute we will make some decisions. Yes or no? Recently in Odisha, unfortunately, a train accident has happened. Hundreds of people have lost their life. Okay. Ashwini Vaishnav, the railway minister, okay, went to that particular place and he participated in the entire disaster relief program. Okay. Why should a railway minister be present at the disaster site? Sometimes you have to take decisions on the last minute basis. Yes or no? You cannot do everything by logic. You have to have something called as intuition. I hope you understand. Got my point? So that is what? Intuition. So leadership is not only about logic, leadership is also about taking decisions which you think are correct. Okay, sometimes they may be wrong, sometimes they will be correct, but still it will happen. Yes, all of you know Chauri Chaura incident, non-cooperation movement. An entire police station was burned down. Everybody cried, Gandhi, please listen to logic. Okay, Gandhiji, please listen to logic. Don't withdraw non-cooperation movement. People are fully in fire. Movement is in rise. We have to suppress the Britishers. This is what everybody said. That was logic according to everyone. But Gandhi believed his intuition. What is his intuition? Morally, we have done something wrong. So the moment we have done morally wrong, we lose our moral authority. Satya Agraha. Yes or no? Satya should be there in the Agraha. The moment you lost your righteousness, there is no value for that moment. That is what Gandhi felt. So you can also convert this essay into emotion and logic. So like this, you can think. I'm not going to discuss line by line, but I'm giving you the hint. Next time when you see something, Prime Minister Modi announced some scheme. Okay, it can be logic, it can be intuition. Yes or no? Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a very logical program, but what we have done within the Swachh Bharat sometimes is intuition. For example, Parameshwaran Iyer. Okay, who is he? He is the person who spearheaded the entire Swachh Bharat Abhiyan program. He is an IAS officer. One day he went to a village, and the pits are not being cleaned. People are not cleaning the village. Why? It is related to human waste. Okay. In his intuition, he entered the pit on his own and started cleaning it. Okay, an IAS officer, that took head of the entire Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, getting down into a pit and cleaning it. That clearly shows there is no stigma attached to the cleaning process. So that is a intuitive leadership. Yes or no? If he thinks logic, okay, I am an Iyer, I belong to an upper caste, what will people think about me? All these things, they won't work in leadership. In the leadership, you have to take on the spot decisions. Yes or no? I hope you understand. So intuition means what? Hunch, a feeling. But that feeling should be for what? Goodness, welfare of the people. I am feeling a hunch, I will launch a nuclear weapon on Pakistan. Okay, so that is not a hunch. Okay, your hunch should be for what? Goodness. Not all who wander are lost. What is the meaning of the word wander? Roaming. Geo roaming, Airtel roaming. No. What is roaming? Without any purpose, rhyme, reason, rhythm, you are roaming. That doesn't mean you are lost. Why? Normally, when do people wander? For example, your mom said, go and give milk to that uncle's house or auntie's house. Okay, you forgot that house, you will keep roaming in the streets. After 10 minutes, you will come back home and say, I forgot the house. Okay, whatever you have done is more or less wandering. Okay, so technically speaking, wandering is when you are lost. But the opposite is also true. Sometimes I just want to explore. Yes or no? See, a scientist might be curious about how birds are flying. Right? He wanted to create a aeroplane. For example, the very famous example I can think of is bullet trains in Japan. Okay, bullet trains in Japan. When they were invented, the bullet trains were having a problem. With the excessive speed, sometimes they will face a lot of friction with the wind, and sometimes the train used to topple. It was systemically having a lot of issues. So the designer was wandering one day. I mean, in the sense, he was just relaxing, thinking about it. Then he saw a hummingbird extracting the nectar. Then he identified the hummingbird have a perfect aerodynamics. So that is why Japan's bullet trains have a shape like this. Okay, he got inspiration from a bird. So he is actually wandering just for the sake of wandering, and that is when he got an idea to design the bullet train. That is one way. Okay, even Gmail is an accident, more or less. Okay, Google have a policy. All the members in the company can have some 1 or 2 free hours per time, and they can work on their own personal projects. I mean, you have a passion, you can follow your own personal projects. You can wander. Google won't tell you create this, create that. Whatever you want to work, you can work. One of such meetings is where the idea of Gmail has come in. I think Gmail only. Some Google product, if not Gmail. Okay. So sometimes when you wander, your mind gets relaxed. Okay. You get inspiration from the nature, society. So sometimes wandering is good or bad? Good only. So like this you can write a much deeper insightful essay, but the problem is you need to know examples. Without examples, all who write UPSC are lost. Yes or no? Think about it. Can you think of anything in our newspaper classes where you can link it to all who wander are not lost? If you cannot link an example, don't worry about it. This is not a test of your knowledge. I'm just provoking your thought process to see that 10 minutes ago the world was not aware of all these topics. At least UPSC world was not aware of all these topics. But these terms are all these 8 codes will become part and parcel of your preparation one day. You'll be so repeatedly using these terms. You will also write them in your answers or next essays. So you have to get familiar with them. Again, you don't know this example. There is a person called as Waterman of India. Who? Waterman of India. His name is Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Okay, Rajendra Prasad or Rajendra Singh, I guess. Okay, so what happened is one day he picked up his entire life savings and everything. He took a bus to a rural Rajasthan place and he don't even know where he is going. He just went to that particular last stop of that bus. He got down and he was roaming in the village, and then he met the Sarpanch and he said, I want to work on the water conservation. Okay, and the Sarpanch was very cooperative. They have dug the canals, the old kunds, what we call as something like a lake, man-made lake. Okay, they have revived it. Luckily that year good rainfall has happened and they saw a lot of water being stored in those ponds. That inspired 1,000 villages in that entire area. So that is why he is called as Waterman of India. He never actually had a plan, logic, I will go to this village, I will plan this, it will work out, something like that. He was just wandering. Okay, so that is what makes Jadhav Payang the forest man of India, because they didn't have any plan, they were just wandering, they were exploring their life, they just had a vision and they have built beautiful forest, conservation of water and all such things. Okay. So next time when you see such people's name in the newspaper, I should remember who? Waterman of India, Forest Man of India. Yes or no? Next. And the last topic, just think about it. Inspiration for creativity springs from the efforts to look out for the magical in the mundane. What is mundane? Magical from the mundane. What is magical and mundane? Mundane means routine, repeated task, everyday things. Okay, dull, boring stuff. Making a roti is a creative stuff or a boring stuff? But if you go to some dhabas, some hotels, okay, the dhaba maker will make the roti fly. Yes or no? He's enjoying the process. Yes or no? When some people make rotis also, we feel like watching, standing there, oh wow, how nicely he's making the roti. While others are making, like me for example, I feel bored to death. Okay, that means creativity or inspiration comes from trying to do something beautiful in everyday things. Yes or no? We never know where inspiration can come from. For example, everybody looks at the sky, night sky, all of us have seen that, right? Okay, is there beautiful? It's beauty means beauty, but if you see the same beauty 10 times, what will happen? Sun, stars, it's there. For us, Himalaya is Himalaya, but somebody born in Nepal, sir, I see it every day. What is so special about it? Think about it. Yes or no? As a kid, Charminar, oh Charminar, something special, everyday Charminar. Okay, but the thing is, some people will get creativity. For example, there is a very famous painter called as Van Gogh. Okay, his paintings are like 40 million, 50 million, that is 600 crores, 500 crores, so on and so forth. Okay, he painted something, a night sky. Okay, and that is even today a mystery and inspiration for a lot of people. Okay, a woman is sitting. Okay, and if I say that painting is one of the costliest and most popular painting in the world, will you believe me? All of you know Mona Lisa. What is so special about Mona Lisa? It's an ordinary thing. It is a woman sitting and smiling. Smiling or not is a different issue. There is a woman sitting. It's a very mundane thing. But because of the brush strokes, the style, the creativity that Da Vinci has brought into the painting, that is what makes Mona Lisa special. Yes or no? Magical in the mundane. Yes or no? Everyday stuff. Okay, like this, inspiration for creativity springs from your perspective. It's all about what? Perspective. I can see roti making and painting, right? Yes, everybody can paint, but you have to make it feel alive. You have to have that passion for it. Yes or no? See, every kid in India will have a bat and a ball. But when Rohit Sharma hits that hook shot, okay, it looks very special. Why? There is a passion. Yes or no? Sachin Tendulkar's stride drive is a passion. So there has to be some passion and creativity in your thought process so that you will bring it to the mundane stuff. Or else life will be very boring. No? No?
Yes.
Yes. Again, I'm not making it an essay class, but I'm asking you to think mundane things. Every day you also face so many routine things, right? Like DNA classes. Boring, mundane. Yes. You have to find what? Magic in it. Who has to have passion? I have to have passion first. You should also have the passion to listen. Only then it will be very interesting, or else there is nothing magical about the mundane stuff. Yes or no? Or sometimes opposite is true. Even the most magical things will look very boring. Sir, I do it every day, so what? That is also a problem. Okay, we'll move to section B and think about it. This is very interesting topic. Girls are weighed down by restrictions, boys with demands. I find this argument very wrong, right? Boys, what demands do the boys have? Boys, tell me, do you have any demands from your house after marriage? Two equally harmful disciplines. Sorry?
They should get jobs. They have demand to and have
So that is a problem. Huh? For example wise, okay, you joined UPSC preparation. He also joined UPSC preparation. Both of your parents will have minimum expectation from you to clear prelims, mains, and interview, right? Okay. So what? Even a girl child who is getting engineering education, she is supposed to get a job. Nowadays, that gender bias is not there. No, everybody who is getting education degree is expected to work. No.
but still, most of them, in case of UPSC preparation, they'll think like many people will say if she didn't clear.
Get her married. That is restriction part. Restriction part, I don't have any complaint. 100% I am with that statement. What I am trying to say is, boys have demands. What demands do the boys have?
In business sector, maybe father might ask the son to take over the business.
So if he doesn't have a son,
You're asking boys.
if he doesn't have a son, the burden will automatically shift to the next girl or whatever, right? I'm not saying it's a gender thing, right? So demand here is like as if it's a burden to the boys. Okay, get educated, get a job, and there is Telugu idiom like Udyogam Purusha Lakshanam. You are supposed to work. No? You can also think in a sensitive fashion. For example, the demand from the boys are like Mard ko dard nahi hota, you are not supposed to cry. Okay, you have to be strong, you have to act like this only. See, for girls we will say go and learn how to cook, give her Barbie doll, kitchen set. Yes or no? Why kitchen set? So that she will be accustomed to kitchen. That is a socialization process. Yes or no? Barbie, recently movie also came, Barbie movie and all those things. That means society tries to restrict the woman from the same age. I'm not going in depth into the article, but think about it. Let's say from age of 1 to 10, girls are supposed, they will tell you should not dress like this. You should not wear shorts, you should not wear jeans. If relatives are coming, you have to sit in a certain way. You cannot sit cross legs. There are so many restrictions on the women. You have to eat like this, be like this, certain restrictions. At the same time, we are also grooming men with demands. You should not do this, you should not do that. In a way, we are grooming them with patriarchy. So no, men are not supposed to clean the utensils. They are not supposed to go into the kitchen. There are certain expectations. That is one sensitive way of looking this. I'm not supporting men, I'm just giving you the thought process. Okay, the problem is there is a flaw in our entire socialization process. There is a flaw in our socialization process. So when there is a flaw in the socialization process, it leads to a lot of issues. Okay, especially that in of all this scenario, who are more victimized? More, the burden is more on the girl child. Okay, you can also think about mental health issues. The other day I was saying, there is a mental health care line in India. Anybody can call the mental helpline, and more calls are from the men rather than the women. Yes or no? That is an unnecessary demand from the men that you cannot share. I hope you understand. So like this, both are not good disciplines. They have their own issues. So men can cry, women can cry. Men can work anything, so is woman. She can also be anything that she dreams to be. If a girl goes and says, I want to be pilot, if we immediately correct her, you have to become a air hostess. That is the wrong socialization. Yes or no? You want to be a pilot, beta? Yes, you can also be a pilot. That is the right socialization. But our society restricts the woman's choice. Array, you are supposed to be an air hostess, he is supposed to be a pilot. That is a wrong precedent. I hope you understand. So like this, we can bring in society and sensitive angles also. Mental health issue is also a huge problem. Clear? Next. So there is a very famous quote. The quote is like, mathematics or numbers are the closest thing to God's handwriting. Okay, numbers are the closest thing to God's handwriting. That means behind everything that we see in the universe, okay, there is a mathematical computation or a logic or a process. So numbers or rationality don't lie, it cannot hide. So that is what they say, mathematics is the music of reason. Okay, that means if you want to promote reason, okay, there should be some rationality, some logic, some data, some proof behind that. That can be one interpretation. Okay, again, it's not something new, but as I said, numbers don't lie, right? Numbers will give you, numbers are supposed to bring you to closer to the reason. Yes or no? If this number of children are dying so and so, you are supposed to be very closer to the reason. But the other side of the essay is lies, damn lies and statistics. Yes or no? I can use the same numbers to say opposite. In India, only 10% women are educated. Okay, in India, 10% of women are educated. I can say it very positively, right? But what am I not saying? 90% of women are uneducated. So I can twist the same numbers to say as if it's the right thing. It depends on your ability to believe. Yes or no? Post-truth world. When we are in a post-truth world, we cannot believe that mathematics and reason will be cared by people. Okay. Next. Again, that is one interpretation. See, whatever interpretations I have mentioned so far are just one part of the interpretations of the essay. They are not the only interpretations. You can be more creative, you can think other points also. Okay. Next, a society that has more justice is a society that needs less charity. This is common English, no? More justice, less charity. Why do we do charity? For poor people. Good. Whom do we do charity to? Poor people. Why do we do charity? To help the people in the need. Okay. So can we say this essay is about inequality in the society? So can we argue that a society with a lot of inequality is an immoral society? Think about it. No? You understand immorality? Morality, you understand? Morality means good or bad. So what is he saying? A society with more justice. More justice means not law and order. Justice means feeling bad for the other person. See, I am having lot of money. I am distributing it to the poor. Okay. You must have heard about something called as Bhudan movement. Okay. I forgot his name, some Reddy, right? When Vinoba Bhave went to the Ramchandra Reddy, I guess, right? So when Mr. Vinoba Bhava went to Andhra Pradesh, and he said, the particular farmer, Mr. Ramchandra Reddy, had thousands of acres. Okay, he said, you have so much amount of land and the poor doesn't have land. Immediately he stood up and gave away all his land. What happened? He has done some social justice. Immediately he shared his wealth with lot of poor people. By sharing lot of wealth with the poor people, he reduced the demand for charity. He is not doing charity. He is sharing his abundance with the others so that they will also become farmers. Yes or no? Charity is a one-time thing. You are just giving it and forgetting it. Okay, but justice is what? Lifetime empowerment. I hope you understood the difference, right? So like this, if a society cares about the others, you are not educated, that is why you don't have a job. I will give you nighttime classes. Yes or no? I will spend time to give you education. That promotes what? Social justice. You can also bring in preamble, right? Today or tomorrow is World's Democracy Day or something like that. Today only, I guess. Okay, and in Karnataka yesterday there was an article, 1 lakh people or 5 lakh people are reading preamble and all those things. In preamble also we have promised justices, social, political and economic justice. If a society have social justice, political justice and economic justice, that society will lead to more empowered people. That society will be less unequal, and that is what leads to need for less charity. Okay, even religious angle also you can bring. Gurudwaras, langar. Gurudwaras give free food to any poor person. Okay, in a form it's a charity, but the thing is they are asking you to get empowered while you don't have to worry about food. Okay, I don't know how many of you are from Telugu states. There used to be a concept called as Varal Abbai. Varalu Abbai, vinnara? No? Varal Abbai. Okay, there are Telugu movies also. That means you are a poor boy from a particular family. Okay, you cannot get education. Then the entire village or people known to you will share your burden one day. Monday you will eat at one person's house, Tuesday you will go to another person's house, Thursday you will go to another person's house. So like this, every day of the week you will get support from a different family, so that families won't feel burden. You will also get sufficient food, you can get education. See, as a student, one of the biggest problem is food and accommodation. If those two things are provided, many people can get educated. But if you have to come to Hyderabad and other places, cost of living is very high. Yes or no? So like this, justice will reduce what? Need for charity. So like this, you can bring in some creativity. You need to have a lot of awareness. And the last one is, whatever you remember after this class is the application of that particular quote. Yes or no? Education here is means what? Not degrees or certificates. Education here is more about morals, values, principles, takeaways. Exactly. All those things that you remember after the once one has left the school. But at the same time, we should not demonize the school. We actually learn a lot of things in the school. For example, discipline. Yes or no? Discipline, brotherhood, sharing, caring, mental maturity, all these things you have learnt where? School only. Yes? Now, of all the 8 topics, which topics did you find comfortable when I was saying, okay, this makes sense? All 8 make sense. Which 2? Section A. Not all who wander are lost. That is what you write. Huh? Okay. Inspiration, creativity springs. In reality, if you are sitting in the exam hall, we don't know what you will write. Outside the exam hall, everybody is calm, composed, expert. But in the exam hall, why did you write? No, sir, my brain worked like that only. I remember this only. And many people with sociology optional wrote the first essay. Girl, the moment they see girl, okay, it's our topic, sociology topic. Yes, girl, child, girl problems. Okay, but trust me, it's not easy to write such topics. You have to balance in every essay. If you go total in the direction of the girls, you will forget what? Boys. That is what will happen in the exam. Yes, girls are being suppressed. Girls are having problems. Girls, women empowerment. Yes, Nari Shakti. What happened to boys? In topic there were also boys. In conclusion, he will remember. So both boys and girls should be empowered. That is not a balanced essay. Boys were gone. Okay, that is a problem. And next is this society, I personally prefer section B third topic. A society that has more justice is a society that needs less charity. At the same time, we don't have to demonize charity. Charity is a very good thing, but charity should be for what? Empowerment. Charity should not become a dole. Yes or no? It should not become a permanent thing. Every time you should not expect charity. Charity is for you to get strength in life, get empowered, develop a skill. Till then, you can take the help of charity. After that, you have to work. Anyhow, Gurudwara, some temple, free Annadanam is happening. Why should I work? That is a very wrong attitude. Yes or no? So, like this, you can think about different topics. Understood anything? Yes. Now the problem is from tomorrow onwards, whenever you read something, you have to try and think, can I use this in essays? Can you? How many of you have read that biofuel article? All of you. Yes, good. What is the summary of that biofuel article? We'll just discuss that article and wrap up. What is the summary of that article? Shekhar? First generation ethanol is not sustainable enough. So what should we do? Second generation. We should move to second generation. Huh? Okay. How? They are all problems of first generation biofuel. In India, obviously all of us know ethanol comes from sugarcane, right? What is not directly mentioned in that article is sugarcane is a huge lobby in the country. If you take the two powerful political areas, one is Maharashtra, the other one is Uttar Pradesh. Both of them are very powerful in politics. Okay, Sharad Pawar, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh, Yogi government and all these things. Any government in UP, they are dependent on sugarcane farmers. So sugarcane farmers are a huge lobby. Okay, even in Tamil Nadu you have sugarcane production, which is a very water guzzling crop. So no, sugarcane takes a lot of water. So by producing sugarcane, then she talks about the loop, no? This argument, you are wasting you are releasing lot of carbon dioxide by in the name of producing agricultural products. Then you are saying I am using that for reducing motor vehicle fossil fuel emissions. It doesn't make any sense. So whatever you produce should be also very sustainable. Then only it will work out. Her optimism is visible in the last paragraph of the essay. That is, if we move towards the global biofuel alliance, more and more countries might come into the picture. When more countries come into the picture, that might lead to innovation and technology. For example, I will tell you, near Delhi, there used to be something called as subtle burning, right? So lot of waste is produced from wheat production. Okay, after that farmers used to burn it. So government of India took it very seriously. All the research institutions and all these people also started working on the particular problem. Okay, because the waste was focused by the government, new innovations have come in, like creation of pellets. Okay, Pusa biodegradable spray, like this lot of innovation has happened, and that problem is handled by the government very nicely. Okay, now at international level, if all the agricultural wastage can be converted into biofuels, more research might come into the picture. Because more research will come, that will lead to better second generation biofuels. So indirectly she is saying, directly only, that we have to move away from first generation, that is ethanol, and probably shift towards used agricultural products or agricultural wastage also. If we can produce more agricultural wastage based biofuels, they are more worth it. or else you are just doing something called as gumla. Yes or no? You are just creating smoke and mirror. You are saying that yes, we are moving towards renewable energy, but that renewable energy is actually coming from the cost of agricultural production, water, lot of greenhouse gases. Okay. So that is a major takeaway from this article. There are 4 generations of biofuels in India. National biofuel policy is there. We have a target of meeting biofuel blending. That means petrol will be mixed with ethanol. So government is trying to promote it as much as possible. All these things are fine, but even better is moving towards renewable vehicles. That is, electric vehicles is a much better proposition rather than biofuel. But see, there are two kinds of solutions. One is short term solution, one is long term solution. Short term solution is biofuel, definitely, because we have to move away from ICE, that is internal combustible engines, fossil fuel based engines. Slowly we will phase them out to electric vehicles, because so many billions of vehicles cannot be shifted overnight to electric vehicles, right? So electric vehicles is long term solution, short term solution is biofuels. Okay, within biofuels you should be even more careful. That is what the article is trying to tell. Okay, any confusion? Hmm. And she also brings out one wonderful point to the forefront, that is global warming. Yesterday we have discussed it, right? Climate change. Whenever climate change happens, that will only accelerate the problems. When climate change happens, it will affect every part of our plants. Yes or no? So today also I saw an article, sustainable developmental goals will not be met because of climate change. So climate change is not only going to create new problems, it is also making existing problems to be solved as a difficult proposition. So you cannot solve existing problems because of climate change. That will only accelerate the future problems of climate change. So she talks about global warming is expected to reduce the yields, like the light brown color wala. Okay, next in the yellow color you can see, our strategy to meet blending targets cannot depend on surplus crops. So we should move away from expecting more sugarcane or anything else. We should have some backup plan. What is that backup plan? More innovation and creativity can solve. Okay. Yes. So what kind of questions can come from this particular topic? What is Global Biofuel Alliance? Yes or no? What is Global Biofuel Alliance? What are the challenges that India might face? Yes or no? What are the challenges that India might face? Yes. See, even if we ask other countries to produce sugarcane, the same problems will come to them also. No, they are water guzzling crops. They need a lot of water. Underground water depletion will happen. So, what are the challenges that will be faced by India to fulfill or meet the Global Biofuel Alliance targets? So, what will we do? First of all, we will push people towards ethanol blending. Get that habit into your system, because if more people are demanding more biofuels, then more innovation, more private sector, more research and development will happen. Yes. See, right now what is Tata company doing? Tata company has thrown away all its ICE, more or less. It is there, but it is focusing more on R&D of electric vehicles. Yes. When the first electric vehicle was introduced, that the distance was around 200 to 250 kilometers. Now people are saying 570-kilometer vehicles are available in India. Tomorrow 1000-kilometer range vehicles will be available. So like this, more R&D is happening very quickly in electric vehicles. So more people are attracted towards EV, EV will have a boom. More people are attracted towards biofuel, biofuel research will also have a boom. Or else only government is saying please mix, nobody is mixing. Got my point? Okay. In that sense, it will fail in the long run if there is no private participation. Private participation is very, very key to move away from fossil fuels to blending, from blending to electric vehicles. Okay. Any questions so far? Today we spent a good amount of time on essay, but articles wise also not many good articles are there in Hindu. So as you have read the paper, you will know. You have read no? No. Anything interesting, useful? Any homework yesterday? Renuka wetland. Did you find out what are Ramsar wetlands? Yes. Where is Renuka? Himachal Pradesh. What is its speciality? Only that one? What else? Rich in biodiversity. All Ramsar wetland sites are supposed to be rich in biodiversity. How many Ramsar wetland sites are there? 75. That list will keep expanding. When I started my preparation, it was in 20s. Okay. Then it became 40. Recently, they exploded in number, becoming 75. What is the significance of that Ramsar wetland site? No idea. It was not mentioned anywhere. No, sure. As far as I know, it is the smallest of all the Ramsar wetland sites. Right? I might be wrong. So what should you do? Cross check. Yes or no? Develop critical thinking. So tomorrow tell me whether Ramsar wetland site, Renuka is the smallest wetland site or is there something new? Okay? We will use it in answer writing somehow. Very difficult, no? So try to find which is the smallest and the largest Ramsar wetland site. Okay, UPSC is no fool. If UPSC is asking certain names out of the 75, they must be either in the news or they might be smallest and the largest, or else it cannot humanly expect you to remember all the 75 Ramsar wetland sites, which state, which region, what is its mythology, history, biology, geography and all these things. No, there must be some rhyme and reason. Yes or no? There are hundreds of national highways. If they are asking you about national highway, some national highway, it must be what? Either it must be longest or smallest or recently in the news. So like this there will be a reason. So if you cannot, UPSC won't ask out of its whims and fancies. So please make sure whenever next time you hear such things, you keep an eye. Okay? Right. Any questions? Nothing? Sure. If people don't read newspapers or you understand everything? There must be some doubt, no? Have anyone understood this article? Analyzing the global stock take report. What are they taking the stock of? Stock or take? If you remember Paris Agreement, I mentioned Paris Agreement, 1.5 degrees, 2 degrees they have promised. So the world has promised everybody else that we will reduce carbon emissions. Okay. In that path, how much are you doing? Okay. India said we will become net zero by 2070. Okay. Are we doing anything? Or in 2069 we will say we will start working now? Is it possible? You cannot reach net zero by 2070 if you start working in 2069. So you have to start in 2023. So what are the steps that India has taken? Other developed countries, some of them promised to be net zero by 2030, some by 2040, some by 2050. So they have to do something. So what are they doing? What are they not doing? All these things will be collected in the data. Okay. As I said, in G20 also we have discussed the same problem. The world promised sustainable developmental goals by 2030. The world has said this, 2030 we will become what? We will achieve sustainable developmental goals. But how much percentage did we reach? Only 12%. We have achieved only 12% of the sustainable developmental goals. So that is understanding the stock take. So here it's more about climate change. Okay. You won't understand that article in depth every line, but you just understand what is Paris Agreement deal, right? That much you do. 2%. 2% of what? Pre-industrial temperature. Got my point? Yes. You have a class now? Yes. Okay. So see you soon then. Yeah. Thank you all.